Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for this all-stakeholder meeting. My name is Andrea Chavez, and I'm one of the managers in the CalFresh and Nutrition branch, assisting with the Summer EBT implementation. Before we get started, we have a few housekeeping slides we will go through. Next slide. Okay, to hear Spanish interpretation, if you're on a laptop or a desktop, after you are done with this announcement, you will see a globe at the bottom of your right screen. Please click on the globe icon that says interpretation and select Spanish. Now, if you're on an an iPad or a similar device, locate the three-dot menu on the upper right and select language interpretation. Then select your language. For those of you who are speaking today, please remember to be loud and clear and speak at a moderate pace, as the interpreter will be interpreting simultaneously into the other language. Next slide, please.
Buenas tardes. Para facilitar el acceso a servicios de idioma, esta reunión contará con interpretación simultánea en español. Si está utilizando una computadora portátil o de escritorio, una vez que hayamos terminado con este anuncio, verá un globo terráqueo en la parte de abajo derecha de su pantalla. Por favor, seleccione el icono del globo terráqueo que dice Interpretación y seleccione Español. Si está utilizando un iPad o un dispositivo similar, ubique el menú de 3 puntos que aparece en la parte de arriba hacia la derecha y seleccione Interpretación de idiomas, luego seleccione Español. Cuando sea su turno de hablar, por favor recuerde hablar claro y en voz alta y a un ritmo moderado, ya que la intérprete interpretará simultáneamente al otro idioma. Gracias.
Next slide, please. Okay, and how to listen in. As you may have noted, this is a Zoom webinar. This webinar will be in listen-only mode. The meeting invite provides the option to connect via phone or computer, depending on your preference. This webinar will be recording. If you would like to request a copy of the recording, please send a request to the email listed on the slide. It is SEBT@dss.ca.gov, and we will be happy to send you a link as soon as it becomes available. Next slide. And as I mentioned, this webinar is in listen only, but we are providing a way for you all to ask questions. The chat box is disabled, but if you have any questions, please ask them by selecting the Q&A button located at the bottom of your screen. Exactly where it is located may be a little different on your screen than what the image you see on this slide, but please look for the text bubble with Q&A underneath it. Now, you are welcome to submit a question at any point during the webinar, and they will be collected and answered at the end of the webinar during our Q&A period. Next slide, please. So we will begin this webinar by formally concluding the Pandemic EBT project and providing statewide as well as county-specific outcomes. We will then transition to formally introducing the Summer EBT program. This slide provides a high-level overview of topics that we will be covering for both the Pandemic EBT project and the Summer EBT program. With that said, let's get started. So I will turn it over to Karen, who's going to go over the Pandemic EBT outcomes. Next slide.
Thank you, Andrea. So we will go ahead and move forward with Pandemic EBT outcomes. As we are aware, the Pandemic EBT project was a federal food program response to the COVID-19 pandemic under the public health emergency. The purpose of this program was to provide eligible children with emergency nutrition benefits when unable to receive meals at their school or daycare due to school closures or absences as a result of COVID-19. The public health emergency expired on May 11, 2023, ending PHE-related benefits like P-EBT. P-EBT 4.0 was the final iteration of P-EBT benefits provided to children and all cards were issued out by November 1st, 2023. PHE-related contracts expired by December 31st, 2023, including authority to issue out P-EBT benefits and communication-related contracts. While P-EBT benefits can no longer be issued to households, households who have P-EBT benefits can continue to use them like normal. EBT cards with no activity within 365 days will be expunged, and benefits lost due to inactivity cannot be replaced. With that said, we will move on to providing the outcomes report. I will start by prefacing with the date of this data. All data included in these slides, as well as the reports, are up to date as of December 2023. It is possible that the numbers have increased as households were receiving cards through fall of 2023, but the final data we received was from December 2023. The data discussed in the following slides are statewide statistics. County-specific data will not be discussed in detail, but can be reviewed on the outcomes reports attached to the meeting invite. And if you did not receive the invite with the attachments, you're welcome to send an email to S-EBT@dss.ca.gov, and we can provide copies of those. For P-EBT 3.0 young children under age 6, as of December 2023, a total number of just over 800,000 cards were issued out. In total, that is just over $561 million in benefit dollars issued. Just over 700,000 cards were pinned as of December 2023. That is the number of households who called the number on the back of their card and set up a personal identification number, or PIN, in order to use their card. This is a PIN rate of about 86%. Compared to the amount of benefits issued, just under 5 million have been used. And specific numbers are available on the outcomes report attached to the meeting invite. For P-EBT 3.0 school-age children, this includes both school year and summer benefits provided. While some cards for P-EBT 3.0 continued to be mailed out through 2023, the bulk of these cards were mailed out between October and December 2022. The total amount of cards issued out for P-EBT 3.0 were just over 4 million, for a total of just over 1.8 billion in benefit dollars issued. The PIN rate for this category was just over 3.5 million, for a PIN rate of 87%. Of the 1.8 billion in benefit dollars issued, our data shows just over 1.6 billion benefit dollars used as of December 2023. Now we will move forward to the P-EBT 4.0 statewide outcome. For P-EBT 4.0, young children under age 6, these cards began being issued in July of 2023 through September 2023. A total of 851,817 P-EBT 4.0 cards were mailed out to young children under age 6. Just over 700,000 of these cards have been pinned as of December 2023, with a pin rate of 84%. The total dollar benefit amount for these children was over 222 million, with over 180 million in benefits used as of December 2023. For school-age children, over 5.2 million cards were issued out for P-EBT 4.0. These cards began mailing in August of 2023 through the end of October 2023. Of those over 5.2 million cards issued, Just over 4 million have been pinned, giving us a pin rate of about 79%. The total benefit amount issued for this category was just over 620 million, and over 470 million of those benefits have been used. The P-EBT 3.0 and 4.0 outcomes reports are now available and were attached to this meeting's invite. If you're unable to locate them, you are welcome to email us after this meeting and we will gladly send them out. The outcomes report shows statewide data broken down by age category, children under age 6, and school-age children. The reports will also show county-specific data, the amount of cards issued, PIN rate, and benefits issued per county. The data presented is accurate as of December 2023. However, I do want to make sure that I mention that the county breakout data are best estimates. They're not exact and will not equal to the statewide outcomes, and it is due to data limitations on how the county information was tracked. That concludes our P-EBT presentation, and I just want to take a minute to thank all of you for your assistance throughout the pandemic, engaging with households and outreach, and providing suggestions that helped improve our outcomes. We will now transition over to our Summer EBT presentation. And if there are any P-EBT related questions, I want to confirm that we have captured them and they will be answered at the end of the webinar during our Q&A period.
All right, my name is Cherise Kemp, and I will now go over the Summer EBT portion of the webinar. And I am one of the managers here with the Department of Social Services and also helping to oversee implementation of Summer EBT. So we are very excited to formally introduce you all to Summer EBT program, which will begin summer of 2024. In this segment of the webinar, we will provide background on S-EBT, eligibility requirements, benefits issuance plan for 2024, and outreach efforts. So let's get started. So next slide, please. A little background on Summer EBT. So between 2011 and 2014, FNS authorized a Summer EBT demonstration project for select states and territories to be able to test the impact of providing summer nutrition benefits through an EBT card to low-income families with school-age children. The results of the demonstration project found that providing summer meals significantly reduced child hunger and improved diet quality, prompting Congress to actually authorize the creation of a new permanent program, which focused on providing food benefits to low-income families with school-age children over the summer months, beginning in 2024. Under the Consolidated Appropriations Act of 2023, which passed on December 22nd, the Summer EBT program was created to provide food benefits to low-income families with school-age children over the summer months when they may not necessarily have access to meals normally provided through their school during the instructional school year. And we're looking at things such as breakfast, lunch, and those daytime snacks. The Summer EBT program is a federally funded program that states and territories can choose to opt into. In July 2023, California passed AB 120, or Assembly Bill 120, establishing California's desire to participate, and the fact that CDSS would be the lead agency in partnership with the California Department of Education, just to ensure that we maximize participation in the program for summer 2024 and beyond. For summer 2024, California is one of the states and territories who have submitted an intent to participate in the program. S-EBT will provide $40 per month for a total of $120 in summertime food benefits to children in households that qualify for free and reduced price meals or are enrolled in CalFresh, CalWorks, or Medi-Cal. California plans to implement a phased approach. In summer 2024, we will automatically enroll over 5 million students, bringing about 6 million in federally funded food benefits to California. This program will be used in, or can be used in conjunction with other FNS nutrition assistance programs, meaning students can still participate in summer EBT even while receiving meals from summer meal sites, SNAP, WIC, or any other programs that are federally ran. Their eligibility in summer EBT does not preclude them from those other programs. Following the release of the Consolidated Appropriations Act, FNS also released partial guidance between July 2023 and November 2023 before officially publishing their interim final rule, which was released on December 29th. The interim final rule outlined many of the program requirements, which I'll go over on the next slide. The interim final rule outlines specific requirements to establish eligibility, issue out benefits, and other operational requirements. It is important to keep in mind that this is a brand new permanent program, which will take some time to fully establish the resources required to implement the program in a way, in the way that it's outlined in the IFR. With that being said, FNS recognizes that certain flexibilities will be necessary to successfully implement the program in such a short time frame. So again, reminding folks, we received the interim final rule December 29th, and we're trying to implement summer 2024. So a lot to consider there. So this slide actually outlines some of the important regulations and requirements established within the IFR and subsequently the Code of Federal Regulations. As you'll see, for at least 2024, we are requesting flexibilities in a few of the various areas as we work to acquire the necessary resources and establish the program and get contracts in place to support the work that needs to be done. The next steps is for California, which was to submit our, we submitted our intent to participate, and then we needed to submit our plan of operations, which was submitted on February 15th, so last week. The plan outlines how we plan to administer the program for 2024, and also includes much of the information we will cover today. So as of now, I'll go ahead and turn it over to Andrea Chavez to go over the 2024 Summer EBT Operations Plan.
Great, thank you, Charisse. Karen, next slide, please. Okay, before we get into the S-EBT specifics, we want to define terminology that will be important to know to understand the upcoming slides. You will hear the terms NSLP and SBP when used when we're discussing schools and eligible children. One of the requirements for S-EBT eligibility is that a child attend a school that participates in the National School Lunch Program, also denoted as NSLP, or the School Breakfast Program, or SBP. The NSLP and SBP are programs available to qualifying schools that serve meals to students. It is overseen by the U.S. Department of Agriculture and administered by the California Department of Education. These programs are federal and state reimbursement programs for healthy, quality meals served that meet federal requirements. Schools that operate NSLP and SBP are required to offer free or reduced meals to eligible children. So when we refer to NSLP or SBP participating schools, We are referring to those schools that have been approved by the Department of Education to operate the programs at their school site. Another term we may refer to throughout this presentation is the summer operational period and the instructional school year. For California, the summer operational period is June 1st through August 31st. Now, this may differ in other states, as the summer operational period is defined based on the state's average school calendar. The Department of Education reviewed available school calendars and found that over 90% of schools, California schools, are on summer break between June 1st and August 31st. The instructional school year is the other months when children are normally attending class. For 2024, we refer to our previous instructional school year. We are referring to the time period of August 1st, 2023 through May 31st, 2024. And lastly, as you'll hear shortly, there are two main ways that children can be eligible, and the age parameters for eligibility differ for both. In California, the compulsory age to attend school for children is ages 6 to 18. So when we say school age, we are referring to children between the ages of 6 and 18. Next slide, please. Okay, the 2024 Summer EBT overview. This slide will provide a few main key points we think are important to identify. The first is our estimate of children we believe to be eligible to Summer EBT for 2024. CDSS and CDE gathered estimates based on the 2023 data that just under 5.2 million children will be eligible, though the number could increase depending on the amount of households who apply and are approved. The following two bullet points are general eligibility requirements. As I previously mentioned, there are two ways that children may be eligible. So all children that are school age, which is 6 to 18 years old, and received CalFresh, CalWORKS, or Medi-Cal at or under 185% of the federal poverty level for at least 1 month during the previous instructional school year will be eligible to Summer EBT for 2024. I will reiterate, our instructional school year is August 1st, 2023 through May 31st, 2024. So any child who received CalFresh, CalWORKS, or Medi-Cal for at least one of those months will be eligible to receive Summer EBT this summer. Now, the second form of eligibility, all children between the ages of 0 through 22 may be eligible if they're attending a school that participates in the National School Lunch Program and or the School Breakfast Program, and they are certified for free or reduced price meals. I'll reiterate it by saying it a different way, just to make sure it's clear. Any and all children who are between the ages of 0 through 22 who go to school at a school that operates NSLP or S-BP and are approved for free or reduced price meals by the school are eligible to receive Summer EBT. Now, the data for these children I just identified will be collected through CalSAWS, specifically those children receiving CalFresh, CalWORKS, and Medi-Cal, and through the California Longitudinal Pupil Achievement Data System used by schools and the Department of Education, also known as CalPADS. Data from CalSAWS and CalPADS will support streamlined certification that allows for automatic issuances. Thus, eligibility for the majority of Summer EBT benefits will be determined automatically. Now, as a quick note, there are some exceptions. Children attending certain schools who are not automatically eligible to Summer EBT benefits will have the option to apply using alternative income forms, but more on that shortly. Next slide, please. So the 2024 EBT estimates, here we break down where the data is coming from. Out of just over 5 million of the children we anticipate will be eligible, 77% of our data will be coming from SAWS, whereas 23% will be coming from CDE and CalPADS. This is just accounting for the children that we can already anticipate as eligible. There is still a potential that we will see an increase in the CDE data based on those children who attend a community eligibility provision or provision school and have to apply. CEP, that's the community eligibility provision, or provision schools are schools who are approved as community eligible provision schools by the Department of Education. CEP is an alternate meal counting and collection procedure for schools in high poverty areas. The majority of data will come from SAWS data, specifically children receiving CalFresh, CalWORKS, and Medi-Cal. And why is this important? It's important because we will have to make sure that address information is correct for these cases. Otherwise, we could see a lot of issuances going to incorrect addresses. Next slide, please. Okay, the 2024 eligibility data flow. This slide provides a visual illustration of the ways in which children can become eligible to summer EBT benefits. As I just mentioned, we have the children ages 6 to 18 who receive CalFresh, CalWORKS, or Medi-Cal in one bucket. And then we have those children ages 0 to 22 who attend an NSLP, SBP participating school. The second bucket of children can be approved for free or reduced price meals in a few ways. One, they submit an NSLP SBP application to their school and are approved. Two, they are identified by the school as categorically eligible, meaning they are considered to be a child in foster care, experiencing homelessness, a runaway, part of a migrant household, or attending Head Start. Or three, they are directly certified, meaning the school has identified they receive public assistance program and automatically certify them as eligible to free or reduced price meals. Now, children who are approved by these two methods, illustrated on the left in blue, are considered to be streamlined certified, meaning they are automatically eligible without the household needing to do anything on their part. For children who are not streamlined certified, those are in the yellowish color on the right. Alternative income forms will be used to determine eligibility for summer EBT. These are children between the ages of 0 to 22 who attend a CEP or Provision 1, 2, or 3 school. Now, a household can confirm that their child attends a CEP or provision school by asking their school administrators. Now, children who don't meet these criteria are not eligible for summer EBT. Now, I will turn it back over to Karen to provide an overview of the application requirements for 2024 for those students who are not streamlined eligible. Next slide, please.
Thank you, Andrea. So to reiterate the application criteria, children who attend a CEP or Provision 1, 2, or 3 school are not automatically eligible, otherwise considered streamlined certified, and so they must apply. Only those children who attend a CEP or Provision 1, 2, or 3 school can apply. And any child who submits an application and does not attend a CEP or provision school will not be eligible. For 2024, the summer EBT application will be what is known as the alternative income form. The alternative income form is used by CEP or provision 1, 2, or 3 schools to gather information about a household, such as names of all household members and income. And so how can the child apply? If the child attends a CEP or a provision school, they can request an alternative income form from their school administrator. The household will fill out the form and submit it back to the school. The school will then determine if the household is eligible or not, and if the child or children are eligible, the school will add the eligibility to the CalPAD system. And the CalPAD system is what the Department of Education and school use to provide information on eligible children. And then that information is collected by the Department of Education for benefit issuance. Now let's discuss how households can expect to receive their benefits. Benefits will be issued at the beginning of the summer operational period. And just to reiterate, again, that is June 1st through August 31st. The Code of Federal Regulations requires that benefits be issued out to households 7 to 14 business days before the beginning of the summer operational period. However, due to the tight time frame and vendor constraints, the U.S. Department of Agriculture has provided some flexibility on issuance timeframes for 2024. We do not have specific dates when benefits will be issued just yet. We are still working to confirm issuance dates with our EBT vendor, and these details will definitely be provided in upcoming meetings once we have received confirmation of dates. Cards will be issued per eligible child, so one card per each eligible child. So if one household has 3 children who are eligible for Summer EBT, they will receive 3 separate cards in the mail. Once cards are issued, they will be issued in alphabetical order by last name, beginning with the letter A. The mailing address the cards will be sent to will depend on the eligibility method based on the hierarchy you see at the bottom right of the slide. So for example, if a child receives CalFresh on their mom's case, but Medi-Cal on their father's case, the mailing address in the CalFresh case will take priority, and that is where their Summer EBT card will be mailed. Similarly, if a child was identified by the Department of Education through a school match, but they also received CalWorks, the mailing address on the CalWorks case will take priority over the mailing address in the school system if they are different. It will be important to socialize the importance to recipients of CalFresh, CalWorks, and Medi-Cal of keeping an updated address on their case to make sure that they receive their Summer EBT card. And now I will go ahead and turn it over to Sharice to discuss our customer service plan and outreach plan for 2024.
Awesome. Thank you, Karen. So customer service is a huge piece to ensuring a successful rollout for S-EBT. CDSS is currently working to establish a call center similar to what was available for P-EBT. The call center will be able to help households with card replacement, PIN setup, and as the EBT call center currently does, but it will also be accepting opt-out requests, eligibility related questions, escalations, and provide information for how to request a fair hearing or appeal. If there is a household who is Streamline certified, meaning they are automatically eligible without needing to do anything on their part, but does not want to receive Summer EBT benefits, they will be instructed to call the call center and they will be placed on an opt-out list. For Summer EBT, if households believe they should be eligible, but have not been provided with an eligibility determination that reflects that, they will be able to request an escalation review where all their documents and circumstances will be reviewed, and the household will have an opportunity to engage with the S-EBT agency to go over the eligibility determination for 2024, households that wish to submit an escalation, they will be referred to the call center where their request will be submitted on their behalf. The Summer EBT website will also be another resource where participants and stakeholders can access additional information about the S-EBT program. Next slide. With the Summer EBT program being a brand new program to Californians, we will be exploring various methods of outreach and education. The outreach and education efforts will include automated texts, email, phone calls, flyers, and small media campaigns. The specifics surrounding these outreach efforts, including the call center number, will be provided once we finalize the language and the contracts. Next slide. So just to highlight kind of where we are and things that we will be working on as next steps. So our plan of operations and management, as I stated before, that was submitted on Thursday, February 15th. And we are now waiting approval from FNS. FNS actually has 30 days from the submission date to provide feedback for necessary adjustments or to provide an approval. We're definitely hoping for just an approval. While we wait for a response from FNS, we are working on executing necessary contracts for the Summer EBT program. We're working with our EBT vendor. We're establishing the helpline and developing a dedicated webpage. We're also working on developing outreach materials, including solidifying language for the auto texts, emails, and phone calls. We will work on providing this information to you all as it becomes available. Next slide. So here we have the first of many opportunities for us to receive feedback from you all. So we recognize that the name Summer EBT could have negative connotations and maybe some attachments of stigma to it. And it also has the potential to be confusing or associated with P-EBT. We want households to know that this is a new program different from what California has seen in the past. So our name, branding, and logo for Summer EBT are really important things to consider. The USDA has coined the term Sunbucks as the official name for the Summer EBT program. In true California fashion, we want to add our spin to the official name of the Summer EBT program, and we want to hear from you first. So we're gonna do a poll, which you will see on your screen shortly, and we want to know what you think about the naming of the program. Is Cal Sunbucks a good idea? Does it represent the program well? Or would Sunbucks, just plain Sunbucks, be better suited? Or maybe you like the name Summer EBT. Or if you have any other, naming conventions in mind, we want to hear those too. So we're gonna put up a quick poll for you all to participate in, and I will say that if you don't have anything in mind today, you can also email us at the S-EBT general email box if something comes to mind afterwards. But please share with us what comes to your mind when you first think about Summer EBT. So you all should see the Summer EBT branding logo poll. Oh, good. Y'all are chiming in. This is good. And just know that your thoughts and ideas will definitely help us. So please don't shy away from providing any thoughts that you have. I'll leave it up for just a little bit longer. It looks like we've got 133 folks who have participated. Still seeing some movement. Okay. Interesting. Okay. All right. I think we're slowing down a little bit. So we'll maybe Karen, about another 2 or 3 seconds, we can go ahead and close it out.
Still seeing a few people answering.
Looks like the majority of respondents are wanting it to leave as summer EBT. So all right, Karen, I think we can go ahead and close it out. I want to make sure that we save some time for the Q&A portion.
Alrighty, I will go ahead and end the poll now. Thank you everyone for your input.
Thank you, Karen, and thank you, everyone. We appreciate your feedback. We will definitely take a dive into those results and also look at those free responses that were provided as well. So next, we will go ahead and move on to our Q&A portion. I think Andrea Chavez did provide just some clarification on questions. If you have questions, feel free to put them in the Q&A feature that should be located on the bottom of your screen. And I see that some of you are already including questions. And I believe some of my colleagues have started responding to those questions. So Karen, do we want to tackle these questions together? Are you able to see them?
Yes, I can see them.
All right. So it looks like the first question was around the PowerPoint and meeting materials and whether or not they will be shared out. Just want to confirm that yes, they will. At the conclusion of the webinar, we will provide, well, the PowerPoint should actually be in the meeting invitation, but if you do not see them, we can email it out as well. And then
it may take
yes.
a little bit to get the recording, as we'll have to upload it to be able to link it, because I believe the file size will be too large to be able to email out. But once we get that situated, at request, we can send out the recording along with the materials. That includes the slides that you just saw, as well as the P-EBT outcomes reports for 3.0 and 4.0. And I believe it was entered in the chat, and it's also visible on the slide, that you can send your request to SEBT@dss.ca.gov.
Thank you, Karen. Then there was a question regarding the $40 a month for a total of how much for the summer program. So just to clarify, the summer EBT program will run through June, July, and August, which are the months when students are likely out for the summer. And so students will receive $40 per month, but we are doing one issuance of $120 to cover the full summer month period.
So I see another question. Is there a time limit for how long will there be summer EBT? So Summer EBT is a new permanent program that's authorized by the U.S. Department of Agriculture. So it is permanent. So it's going to be it's established 2024, and it will be permanent. So it's not going to go away like P-EBT did. P-EBT was just the authorized food benefit program during the PHE. But the Summer EBT program is permanent. Hopefully that answers the question, but if there is anything that I may have missed, please feel free to put it in the Q&A and I'll go ahead and answer that.
And then there's another question. Is there funding available for CBOs to do outreach for S-EBT? So at this time, there's no additional outreach funding for the summer 2024 period.
And here we have another question. Do you have an estimated S-EBT eligibility broken down by county as well? Unfortunately, we do not have that information at this time. Once we actually are able to complete issuances based on addresses, we may be able to get county specific information, similar to how we are providing it with Pandemic EBT. But at this time, we only have statewide data, nothing specific to counties, but hoping that we will be able to finalize estimates and issue county specific information in the spring once we've actually gotten the full eligibility of streamlined certified children.
All right, so I think that answers of the next one. So another question came in, really good question. Will students 0 to 22 be auto-enrolled if they're at a school that runs an NSLP or SBP program, or will they need to apply? So students age 0 to 22 will be auto-enrolled only if they are determined eligible to participate in the National School Lunch Program or School Breakfast Program at a participating school. And so this can be done through many methods, such as the meal application, categorical eligibility, or direct certification. So if a student attends a school but they haven't applied for the NSLP or SBP program, or they're not categorically eligible, directly certified, they would first need to apply through their school to see if they're eligible for the program.
Sometimes the meal application is also called the FRPM application, so free or reduced price meal application. So those are interchangeable, they're the same thing. So for children that attend the NSLP SBP participating school, they have to be certified for free or reduced price meals through that application. Or as Sharice mentioned, be categorically eligible, which means they are identified as experiencing homelessness, in foster care, a runaway, part of a migrant household, or a Head Start recipient. And I see another question regarding outreach funding, if there will be funding available for future years. We are currently working on that. So I can't say for certain yet, but that's one of the areas that we're working on 2024 to be able to see what we could do to establish better outreach for future years.
Okay, so the next question is, will separate cards, like P-EBT had separate cards, be issued for these benefits? Will this program have a call center for card issuance problems? So to the first question, yes, cards will be issued, separate cards will be issued, but we are exploring options for potential household level. But as of right now, it will just be issued to each eligible child. And yes, this program will also have an S-EBT hotline available for card issuance inquiries, very similar to what was offered for P-EBT.
And then another question here, besides an updated address from CalSolve, does it also pull information from the school page as some children attend a private school? So yes, so we're getting information of eligible children through CalSolve. So as we had mentioned, those children that are ages 6 through 18 and receive CalFresh, CalWorks, or Medi-Cal. And then the other way that we're getting certified eligible children is through schools that are NSLP SBT participating schools, and the children are certified as for free or reduced price meals. So that information will be coming from the CalPAD system, which is what the Department of Education and schools use. So if the private school provides that data to the Department of Education, whether that be through the CalPAD system, then they'll be captured there. So it'll be the address listed in CalPADs if they're not receiving any CalFresh, CalWorks, or Medi-Cal.
All right. The next question is, will CDSS or CDE be creating a list or spreadsheet with a list of schools and their online alt income forms that statewide advocates can use? So we'll actually take this one back to our CDE partners, but we will just stress that the alternate income form does vary in each school district, but I think it's worth exploring to see if that's something that we would be able to do. So more to come on that.
We have a question here about cards. So the P-EBT cards for customers experiencing homelessness were sent out to county offices. Will this be the same for S-EBT program? So yes, so the address that is listed in the CalFresh, CalWorks, or Medi-Cal case is the address in where the card is going to be sent to. So if a customer experiencing homelessness lists the county welfare department office as their mailing address, that is where the card will go to. Similarly, for schools, if a child is experiencing homelessness and they list their school or as the primary mailing address, that is where the card will go.
Thank you, Karen. Another question, are the cards issued in the name of the eligible child? And yes, cards will be issued in the student's name.
Thank you. Next question here. Will there be any notifications to families about applying for S-EBT? So yes, Andrea Brayboy was able to answer this question in the chat, but I just want to make sure that I highlight it. So we will have additional information regarding the application and outreach that can be provided to households once our plan is approved. So if you recall from our meeting, our plan was submitted February 15th, and the FNS has 30 days to be able to provide their responses or approval. So once we have their approval, we'll be able to move forward with generating the outreach material that's necessary to be able to let households know that they are either automatically eligible or that they're that they need to apply and they're eligible to apply.
All right, the next question is, what about students who are at NSLP school who may not have completed the FRPM app? There are likely many families who have not completed a meal app given SMFA has left a gap in the application completion. Can they complete an FRMP app to make sure they get S-EBT benefits? And yes, CDSS and CDE are developing outreach strategies that include school application information. Applications for 2024 Summer EBT will be submitted through August 31st, 2024.
Next question here, are you able to provide flyers to attendees of this webinar for outreach efforts? Definitely. We are currently working on developing outreach strategies that will include flyers and media graphics, and all these materials will be released as soon as we can. We, like we previously mentioned, we need to have our plan approved before we can start sharing all that information. So definitely more to come. We plan on having these meetings throughout the summer operation period. So as we get more information, more data, you'll also have that information.
And the next question was about S-EBT cards and whether or not they will be chipped. So S-EBT cards will not have the chip functionality for 2024.
Thank you, Sharice. Next question, do you know if Benefits Cal will be promoting Summer EBT at all on their website? That's an excellent question. We do have to take that back to discuss internally. However, it's important to clarify that Summer EBT is a state-administered program, which is different than CalFresh, CalWorks, and Medi-Cal, which are administered at the county level. So households will not be applying for Summer EBT through the Benefits Cal portal.
Right. The next question, if a student is directly certified in CalPADS as CalFresh and CalWorks, but attends a CEP district, do they still need to apply using the alternate income form as well, or are they streamlined? Great question. So no student receiving CalWorks, CalFresh are not required to submit an alternative income form. Eligibility will be determined using CalSOS data from the CalWorks, CalFresh, or Medi-Cal case.
Thank you. Next question is about outreach materials. Besides English and Spanish, will there be additional language? Will there be additional languages available for outreach materials? Yes, so additional languages will be available for outreach materials. As we develop them, the anticipation is that we will provide information in all threshold languages.
So the next question, it has P-EBT experienced EBT theft? If so, what precautions are you putting in place for this new program? So all EBT accounts are eligible to use EBT Edge mobile app to mitigate electronic theft. Chip tap enhancements will also be embedded into future S-EBT iterations beginning summer 2025.
Next question asks, all S-EBT benefits will be issued on separate cards. They will not be issued on existing EBT cards when the child is on a CalFresh or CalWorks program. That is correct. So if a child is receiving CalFresh or CalWorks, and so they're receiving their benefits on an existing EBT card, they're still going to receive their separate summer EBT card. So they will not be on the same EBT card.
Okay, and the next question was just around cards being issued in their child's name and whether they'll receive a separate card. That question was answered earlier. So just to reiterate that, yes, cards will be issued under the child's name, and each child will receive an S-EBT card if there are multiple children in the household. And then after that, it's about the slides. So again, yes, they will be shared, and they're also in the meeting invite. The poll results were shared in the chat.
Right. And I can also embed them in embed the results in the slides if that would be helpful, so people can see what the poll results look like. There's a question here about immigration status, if that's considered. So summer EBT eligibility is not based on immigration status. So it's based on one, whether they receive free or reduced price meals at an NSLP or S-EBT participating school, or if they receive CalFresh, CalWorks, or Medi-Cal. So immigration status is not used to determine eligibility.
Okay, next question, which was really good, which I know we didn't cover in the slide deck, was around expungement. If a family applies for summer EBT in August and that student is enrolled in the program, when would the benefits be expunged? So expungement rules are different for summer EBT, and they have 122 days after issuance of benefits before those funds will be expunged. So depending on what day in August, the benefits will be expunged 122 days after that.
Right, and before we continue, I do want to mention it is 3 o'clock, so I'm sure that if you have other meetings to attend to, please keep in mind that this is being recorded. Any questions that we do not get to or that you're not able to hear, we will provide responses to them. We may not be able to do it right away. We're going to have to be able to place all the questions and answers in one document, but we can definitely send that out. I know there were a couple of questions about if the Q&A answers will be shared, and yes, they will be.
And I believe a majority of the questions were answered, and we still have quite a bit. So I suggest we can go ahead and probably close out, just being respectful of folks' time. And as Karen said, we'll make sure that we provide you all with kind of a Q&A outline, making sure we're covering some of the questions that were asked here. You all provided some great questions and great insight. So I want to say we appreciate you all for joining us today. And again, if you have any questions that come up after this call, feel free to email us at our S-EBT general email, and we will be sure to get back to you all. So again, thank you for joining us. And just also, want to make sure that we express that our next meeting will be Tuesday, March 19th from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good rest of your day.
Thank you.